to Cooking with Lynda. Glad you're with me today. So today we're going to be making Microwave Apple Crumble for one. And it is taken from our cookbook here in the library, Budget Bytes by Beth Moncel. It's a pretty easy cookbook to use. You will still want to have an adult around because you are going to be using a knife and you're going to be cooking in the microwave, and they can help you out if you need it. So I've washed my hands, I've washed my counter, I've washed my apple, and I'm about ready to get started. So the first thing you want to do is you want to have a medium-sized apple. And if you notice, this is a small one. This is just a half. That's all you need. And you want to cut it into bite-sized pieces. So you can see I've used a knife. I've already cut it. I'm not going to use the other half. I'm just going to put it somewhere else. And you might like this recipe so much, you want to share it with a friend or a family member, and you can use that other half of the apple. Okay, I need a teaspoon of brown sugar. And if you remember brown sugar, you have to pack it down. And so I used my teaspoon measurement and I packed it down in my bag, just kind of smashed it down with the bag on top of it so I'm not touching it with my fingers. I'm going to put it in the bowl, sort of. It looks like a little pile of peanut butter. And then you're going to do a half a teaspoon of cornstarch. Again, just wipe it off on the corner or use a knife to make sure it's even. And cornstarch helps to thicken it up. You can use cornstarch in gravy, or if you're making a pie, it helps thicken things up. And then I'm using 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. So I do not have 1/8 of a teaspoon measurement. I'm using 1/2 of a 1/4. And I just put that in there. And then I need a pinch of ground cloves. And a pinch is a little less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. So instead of reaching in with your fingers, because that makes everything dirty, put a little bit on your palm of your hand and just pinch it. Okay, and you can just dump the rest in a sink or in another container. Okay, and I need a pinch of salt. And again, pull it out, put a little bit on your hands, and I have it in the bag here. Put it in little hands and put that in there. And salt always helps things taste a little better. Something with a chemical reaction in food, it tastes a lot better. Okay, I'm going to take my spoon and I'm gonna just smush everything together. My brown sugar is kind of hard. Just kind of make sure it's all stirred up really good. You don't want it to bite into a big clump of cornstarch. It would not taste very good at all. Okay. And then I'm gonna put it in my mug that I've sprayed with Pam. Or you can use oil and you can put a little bit on a paper towel and rub it around on the inside. It just makes cleanup a lot easier. I'm gonna pour this in here. Whoops. Drop some on my clean tabletop. Okay, that's why you clean your table. So if you spill something, you can use it again. Okay, so I'm ready to go. So now I'm gonna make the topping. So you need to have 1/2 tablespoon of butter. And if you have a stick butter, you can, it has the tablespoons counted on the side. Just mark it as 1/2. And I actually cut mine up into little pieces because you're gonna eventually use your fingers to smush it all together, and it just kind of helps disperse that a little bit. I'm going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of brown sugar. Put that in there. I'm going to need a tablespoon of all-purpose flour. And you don't want to smush it down, you want it to be light, so you use a knife, or kind of what I did was I wiped my fingers off on it with the bag. Dump that in. And then I need 1.5 tablespoons of oats. Now the recipe will say old-fashioned, but we are using quick oats, and I don't think it makes a difference. So shake it off, put 1/2 tablespoon in there, and there you go. And that's all you do. Okay, so you can kind of tell. Maybe. I'm going to use my fingers. This is why your fingers need to be clean. I'm going to smush it up really good. And you might not get all the butter smushed up. That's okay too. Because this butter is kind of hard. You could always let it sit out on your counter for a little bit so it warms up. Okay. And then you're going to sprinkle it on top of your mixture in your cup, in your mug there. Wipe my hands on a rag I always keep. And kind of what it looks like. You can't see the apples underneath, but I'm gonna pop it in my microwave for about 90 minutes. Excuse me, don't put it in 90 minutes, that would be awful. Put it in for 90 seconds to 2 minutes, depending on how high the temperature is in your microwave. So I'm gonna pop it in for 90 seconds and see what happens. Okay. All right, I just put it out of the microwave. I put it in for 90 seconds, and then I brought it out and stirred it, and then I popped it in for another 30 seconds. And so this is what it looks like. So it would be really good with some milk, some ice cream. It's great with yogurt, or kind of just by itself. I think it's pretty good by itself. Anyway, it's hot. Be very careful. Thanks for joining me for Cooking with Lynda. I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.